G'day guys, how you going? It's Rob from Robbie Red Dog, and I got a EDS yesterday from the 4-wheel drive Supacentre, so I thought I'd do a quick little review on it. A little bit different than the scan gauge ones, a whole lot cheaper. I picked it up for $79 and I had to play around with it quickly yesterday from the shop, so I just give you just a quick look at it as we go and just sort of see where we're going to sort of set up and plug into. So we'll just go into the car, and so this is just the items that you get here. It's sort of just the box and everything that comes in the box. You've got the actual little scan gauge EDS unit sort of here itself. Sort of instruction manual through there, a little video, I haven't even plugged that in, quick start guide as well. There's the warranty book, bit of velcro and double-sided tape, and this is the sort of the plug itself with the connector in there. Now in this unit here, you can either go in through the side or the back there, and I just had a look here, a couple of mounting spots. A couple of guys, I've seen them actually have got it sort of just mounted in there and then sort of plugged in there. It's still fairly visible. You need to take your eyes off the steering wheel a little bit. I had it sort of just sitting up there coming back, and I think it's quite good there. It's at eye level. I can run the cord just through the little gaps there, and that goes straight into the connector itself, and it still lets you view all the factory gauges and everything else. And just with these 200s, I mean, this is a petrol, diesel's not too much different. Just under there, it's just really easy and simple to get into your connectors. So just run it up through the bottom of the dash up there and just bring it in through that gap, and I'll just use some velcro and I think I'll sort of mount it there because it's quite a good spot. So I'll just hook it up and we'll just fire it up. I haven't been through all the menus on this thing yet. The only thing that I've seen it doesn't do, which the scan gauge does, is the transmission temperature, the transmission fluid temperature. So when you're towing, it's quite handy to have that, which this unit doesn't do. But then again, it's only, you know, $70 odd compared to $270 for the other one. But I mean, it's got a lot of other little, like I said, I just had a bit of a play with it yesterday. It's got, you know, your trip computers, you can do your vehicle speeds, your RPM. I just more wanted it for the engine coolant temperature. I can get that sort of on there. I can get the volts from there. You can also use, like I said, the trip computer. I don't really use the trip computer that much. I know when I fill this thing up, I always zero the speedo and just sort of work out the litres per 100 from there. So I'll just stop it for a little bit and then I'll connect it up and see how we go. Alright, so I've just actually just plugged it in, so I've just sort of just got it sitting there, wiring come up here, and just sort of plugged it in to the bottom up here, and it's coming up to link, so I'll just fire it up. And so there you go. As soon as it reads it, I've got the RPMs going, the volts on the bottom, the VLT 14.1. Your ECT is your engine coolant temperature. So if I just scroll through these, so your LP1s, I don't know what half these sort of ones are. LP2s, I think that's your load. And a lot of these ones I think for your trip computers. Like I said, I had a bit of a muck around yesterday on it. It's funny, the volts on these things, it's coming up 14.1 at the moment. When the engine's warm and running, this thing was sitting on about 13.6, 13.7, and the VSS is actually your vehicle speed. So I actually had that with the working with the GPS the other day. Well, it's not going to read nothing now, but the GPS is fairly well calibrated to the speedo in this thing, because it's got a little bit bigger tyres than the standard 285. I think, well, they come out with 65 17s on this. They've got 285 70 17s, and the vehicle speed on this actually reads probably about 2 k's lower than the actual speedo and your GPS, so I don't know where that's coming, but everything else seems fairly accurate. The RPMs tend to correspond. Like I say, the ECT is your engine coolant temperature, and that was pretty well spot on yesterday. It was normal driving, it was about 24 degrees here in WA, and it was sitting on about 88 degrees or thereabouts. And if you get the bottom one, that gives all your trip and your gauge, and then you get into your menus of sort of your review stuff, your fuel, your rates, and that's more sort of, you know, you get into your setups of, you know, engine sizes, fuel types. That's more for your trip computers and stuff like that. There you go into, and the bottom one, it just defaults into, it's like your clear codes. If you get into scan, I don't think we've got any, we've got no codes coming up. I don't think there's any pending, but I don't know, I haven't had a play with this, like I said. I'd hope not. No. No codes, so click through that, so I'll get back into the gauge. But your gauge, you can read 4 different things. Like I say, you just sort of scroll through the menu, you can have whatever you want sort of coming up on the 4 different screens through it. I say the ones that I want to sort of use is just keep an eye on the voltage, the engine coolant, because like I say, you can't do transmission. Transmission would be a good one to do, but I might get a scan gauge sort of later on. But this EDS is, like I said, it's nice and clear, and it seems to be working pretty well, and for the price, really, like I say, you can't go wrong. There is a let me just get the book out here. Just in your setup gauge, it does go through all the different things you can scroll through, like say your fuel systems, your valve loads, your fuel rail pressures, intake manifolds, engine speeds, your vehicle speeds, ignition timing, intake air temperature. Actually might run the MAF readings, considering this is a petrol, your O2 sensors, and like I say, your battery voltage and everything else. So like I said, I think for what they are, for the price that they are, $79, it's sort of I like my little sort of gizmos and gadgets, and no, it seems to be pretty good. So during the day I'll sort of mount this thing properly somewhere. Let me sort of just get into that. And there's a bit of a scroll. IGN, like I said, a lot of these ones I haven't gone through. I might set it up to do sort of like your trip computers with your fuel readings and everything else. Well, there's your MAF sensor through there. TP, don't know what that is. 112, S12, Like I said, it's got liters per 100. Obviously that's not going because I'm not going anywhere. I'll do another one that's working, so you can even see the volts sort of come down. They've got one of those newer vehicles with the temperature sensitive, what's the name, alternators. Obviously when the engine warms up to save fuel and emissions and everything else, it reduces the load and reduces the voltage in your cars. I mean, they're no good for your second batteries half the time, because if they're going to go sitting at 13.6, 13.7 volts, it's enough to sort of do a float charge in your batteries, but it's nothing really decent to charge them up. I do have dual batteries in this thing, and just sort of a deep cycle one under the bonnet, and I'll usually put a separate charger on that one. But anyway, that's just a quick review of the EDS. Alright, cheers guys, see ya.